Hello and welcome to Tech Deals Windows Performance Review. We are testing this today on this Dell Inspiron 15.6-inch 4K Ultra HD laptop, but wait, we've upgraded it. I have added 8 gigabytes of RAM, bringing the total to 16, and we have installed a Samsung 850 EVO 500 gigabyte solid state drive. This machine came with 8 gigs of RAM and a hard drive. Now it has 16 gigs and an SSD. I've also done a previous Windows performance review on the as shipped configuration. Links to that, links to my original review, and how to do the installation will all be in the video description below. Please go check them out if you haven't seen them already. But in this video, I'll be doing exactly the same stuff that I did in the first video, except on an SSD with more RAM, so you can compare the two and decide for yourself whether it's worth it to you to add an SSD and or add some more RAM. Now, the first thing I'm going to be doing is a reboot test. Why? Well, I did it on the hard drive. I'll do it here. It gives you an idea of a full cycle boot. Start, power, restart. I'm not timing it live. I will time it in Edit. I will put the start time, and when we get to a usable desktop when I can open Microsoft Edge and start typing is when I'll finish, and I'll post that time. I will also post however long it took on the hard drive, and you can see the difference. Needless to say, it is faster. How much? I won't know until I do this, and I'll post it in Edit, but it's much faster. I did uninstall the web browsers, so I will show the download and installation. Again, I completely removed them from the machine so that I can show you. That was pretty quick. Yep. So whatever that time is, I'll stick it up there. Now, there is one extra step I'm going to do here before I download the web browsers. I actually should have done it during the SSD clone installation video. So be it. Hopefully anybody who's planning on doing this also watches this video. I didn't download and install the Samsung Magician software. If you have an SSD, you should use this. Samsung Magician for consumers software. I will put a link to this in the description below. Don't worry, you don't have to come find it. But in short, this software monitors the health of the SSD, gives you notifications if it detects there's anything wrong with it, lets you know if there's a BIOS update, which there might be. It's currently running a security scan to make sure the download is safe. This is a good thing. Let's open that. Just double click on it to run it. It's not a fairly large file. And you can close your web browser when that's finished. Just accept all the defaults, accept the agreement, accept where it wants to go. Hit next, hit install. Pretty easy, just basically accept whatever it says. I'll show you in a second what this program looks like. Most good SSD companies have some version of this program. Crucial has their Storage Executive, ADATA's got one, Samsung has one. The good companies all have some type of monitoring program that lets you know what your SSD's health is, what its remaining life is, because unlike hard drives, solid state drives do have a, quote, finite life, but it's so long, unless you are misusing your drive, it won't matter. Let me give you a specific example. Sitting in the other room is a Dell, what is that? That's a Dell Vostro from 2007. It is a Core 2 quad that in 2011 I installed an Intel 40 gig SSD. It's 5 years old. It has 97% of its useful life left. That drive will outlast the computer, frankly. All right, so this is the Samsung Magician software. First thing I'll do is click Authenticate. Yep, we have a genuine drive. We'll come down here to Rapid Mode. This is a feature I recommend that you activate. What is rapid mode? Rapid mode, and again, most of the good SSDs have this. Crucial, on Crucial drives, for example, if you don't buy an 850 EVO, if you decide to get a Crucial MX300, which I recommend, I have one of those, I'll do a video on another computer showing it. They call it, I think, momentum cache is what they call it. What this does is essentially speeds up reads and writes by using your extra computer's memory as a better buffer than Windows does. We'll hit Enable. Your computer must be restarted, yes. This does use between 1 to 2 gigabytes of your RAM. I don't recommend you do this if you only have 4 or 8 gigs of RAM. I do recommend you do it if you've upgraded to 16. And in fairness, if you just spent $70 to $150, depending on the size, putting an SSD in, and you just bought a $1,000 laptop, the RAM that is installed in here was $30. It's 3% of the price of the machine. Put the extra 8 gigs of RAM in. If you're going to do anything at all, put it in there. This will use 1 to 2 gigabytes of extra RAM, but it will improve the performance of reading and writing to the SSD by using the RAM as a better buffer. And we're back into Windows. That's a fairly quick reboot. If I had thought of it, I would have shown that in the SSD clone video. I'm putting it here. And Samsung Magician should be loading. There it is. I'll double click on the icon because there's one more thing I want to do. Now that we're back in the program, you can come down to rapid mode to see that it is in fact enabled. This accelerates the SSD. I want to come up under disk management to firmware update. Now in this case, it says this is the latest firmware. I have not updated this. This came with the latest firmware out of the box. If I'd updated it, I would have shown you or I would have told you, but I didn't. But it's worth checking because actually there is, it's driver software that is called firmware because it's physically on the SSD. And SSDs more than hard drives often have firmware updates. About half of the SSDs I install in all the computers you see on my channel need a firmware update. So whatever the program is, be it Storage Executive from Crucial or be it Samsung Magician, it'll enable you to update the firmware on your SSD. So many things to update in a computer, isn't there? All right, there's also some other things you can investigate. There's a performance benchmark you can check out, performance optimization, which is disabled on Windows 8 and higher because Windows 8 and higher has built-in trim support that works better than anything they'll do, so don't worry about it. So we can go ahead and close that. It will run in the background. It'll be just fine. Now, the rest of this will be exactly the same as the previous Windows performance review done on the hard drive. We're going to click on Microsoft Edge. We're going to type in Chrome. We are going to click on Chrome for desktop, click download, and we want to save that. And we'll hit run. Yes, we want Google Update to run. You can go ahead and close your Edge browser on your marks. Now this downloading part will be your internet connection, not the computer performance, but it doesn't take very long even if you have a slower connection. This installing part is now the computer and the SSD is where this helps as compared to the hard drive. Now that we have this open, let's type in Firefox. And let's download Firefox. Downloading and installing. And here we go. No, I don't want to make you the default. In the previous one, I had gone to YouTube, Tech Deals, my channel of course. We'll come down to videos. I had opened 12 videos. I'm going to do the same thing, even though it was actually a bit too much on the previous one. I'm going to do it again and then we'll back it off. I'm trying to make these as similar as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm even opening the exact same 12 videos. Just like in the previous video, I'm not leaving these at standard definition. We're going to make these high def by switching to theater mode. I'm going to go through each of the videos and turn theater mode on. Hey, there's an ad, HP. Hey, HP, do you know you're playing an ad while I'm reviewing a Dell laptop? They won't be happy. Hey, Intel Core inside. I'm amusing myself, what can I say? Rocket League, Minecraft. Oh, it won't let Dell, that's funny. There we go. The reason I'm making them larger is that forces it to run them in HD rather than in standard def, SD. So we've now got 12 videos running. Task Manager. Now, if you've never opened Task Manager before, it opens like that. Right-click on the system toolbar on the bottom and choose Task Manager. Click More Details if it isn't selected. Choose Performance, the second tab over from the left. Let's see our CPU usage. Nice. Our CPU usage is lower now than it was on the last one. Now you might say, wait a minute. How can the CPU usage be lower when we're just playing videos? Because we were playing 12 HD videos, we were using 50% CPU power on the first original Windows Performance Review. RAM and SSD. The SSD is so much faster, and the additional 8 gigs of RAM allows Windows to keep everything in there. It's not swapping to the hard drive. On the first Windows Performance Review, we were swapping to the hard drive, and that slowed everything down. This is so much smoother. Bandwidth. Somebody's bound to ask, well, running 12 HD videos must use a lot of bandwidth. It does a little bit. We are currently using 20, maybe 30 megabits per second download. Now, if your connection's not that fast, you won't be able to open that many videos. Mine is, but that's just an internet thing. Memory usage, we're at 42% memory usage. If we only had 8 gigs, it'd be completely full and we'd already be swapping basically, because committed, wow, there's 31.9 gigs committed, 7.1 is committed to RAM, 6.6 gigs is in use, there's 0 compressed, 0 free. It's using it. There's some available, but it's shrinking. That's impressive. All right, let's go open up Chrome. Yahoo. I use Yahoo for all my Windows Performance reviews. This is snappier. It's not perfect, but I can tell the difference. Let me click Fantasy, NFL, NCAAF, which I don't even know what that is, Major League Baseball, NBA, and the vertical. I don't even know what the vertical is. Now, it hasn't loaded it right away. Yahoo's page is old and poorly designed, and they keep adding to it without fixing the underlying design. If you've watched my other Windows Performance reviews, you know I pick on Yahoo a lot. Every one of these squares, text boxes, images are all separate elements. There are hundreds of web requests going back and forth for each of these pages. I just made several thousand internet web requests to generate these Yahoo pages. Yahoo needs to fix their website. But that's fairly smooth. It's much better than it was before. This is the RAM upgrade more than the SSD, but the SSD helps. It all helps. The smoothness, the ability to open all this on this compared to the original, I would never use this computer without an SSD and RAM. And consider that a 250 gig SSD and the RAM upgrade is $100, so it's 10% the price of the machine. Huge, huge difference, much smoother. Let's see how our Task Manager is doing. We are using 55% of our available RAM, so we're well past our 8 gigs of RAM. Available is dropping, cached is increasing. CPU usage, look how much nicer this is. Now I'm actually filming these on the same day. The Windows Performance Review, which would have actually been published maybe 2 or 3 days ago, was really actually filmed 2 or 3 hours ago. I just published them on different days. Nothing's been changed. The machine hasn't left the desk. It's using 34% of the CPU power right now. If you watch the Windows Performance Review with 8 gigs of RAM and a hard drive, it was using 100% at this point. What a difference having enough system memory makes. I know plenty of people in comment sections and message boards say, oh, you don't need 16 gigs of RAM, that's overkill. We're browsing the web and watching videos. Yes, you do. Let's do more, shall we? Firefox. Amazon.com. And we'll type in Dell i7559. I'm going to pull up each of the 4 versions of this laptop. 1, 2, oh, scroll too far, 3, and 4. This is what's physically sitting on the desk pre-upgrade. It's $1,000. It comes with the i7 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, the 1 terabyte hard drive, the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960M. It's a great laptop, but for $100 more, put in a solid state drive, put in the extra RAM, or, that's not it, there it is. For $150 more, this comes with 16 gigs of RAM and 128 gig SSD already installed. Now for this price point, you can get a 250 gig SSD and 16 gigs of RAM, but you got to do the work yourself. The question is having the 250 gig SSD worth having to physically install the RAM and the SSD and then run the clone program to copy Windows over versus buy this for $1,163. Prices change, it's what it is when I film this video, and it comes ready to rock out of the box and you don't have to do any of this, and you get this performance by default. That's a personal choice. I would do the install myself because I want to put in the larger SSD because I can, and frankly it's not that hard. But if you don't want to do it, no worries, buy it this way and that's your choice. What if you want to spend a little bit less money? I've reviewed this laptop for $780 before, and it's a spectacular deal. This laptop is almost the same as what you're seeing here, and that laptop has been reviewed in my channel before. What are the differences? i5 instead of i7. 4-core processor, but no hyper-threading. If you want to do video editing and content creation, buy the i7. If you want the best of the best and are willing to pay a little bit more to get the best, buy the i7. Frankly, I did game videos on that i5. They play perfectly. They both have the same graphics chip. They both have a GTX 960M, so games are going to play the same, more or less, on both machines. But that one comes with the 256 gigabyte SSD included in the $780 price, but no hard drive. So you're going to spend $50 to $60 to add a 1 terabyte hard drive if you want more space. And that has a matte finish screen. This has a gloss finish screen. This isn't meant to be a comparison video. I've done a comparison video, but I'm just mentioning it since I'm standing here. Great, great value. For $1,000 or less, the Dell Inspiron i7559 series laptop computers are the ones to buy. I know there's others, but these are the deals. If you want, for about $850, you can get the i7 version of this machine with a full HD 1080p screen instead of the 4K Ultra HD touchscreen that you see in front of you. Personal choice. Would I? Yeah, sure, why not? Same upgrade process. It's exactly the same machine. If you want to put 16 gigs of RAM and a solid state drive into that machine, it's exactly the way it was on this one. The only difference is that it has a full HD instead of an Ultra HD screen, and it's about, what, $150, $160 less expensive. Personal choice. How's our CPU doing? 40%. RAM usage. Upgrade your RAM. This is why. We're at 10.1 gigs listed. It's really fully used. We're using 3.5 gigs cache. We're only using 39% of our CPU. In the previous Windows performance review, the CPU was pegged at 100% and the machine was laggy. Take a look at this. Scrolls through just fine. Let me challenge it. Let me come up here to... Oh, that's expensive. Don't pay that much. That's a third-party seller. There is the Samsung 850 EVO 500 gig drive. That is actually what is sitting right here. You can, in fact, see the retail box right there. Do not pay $195. It's not worth that. In fact, I'll have links in the description below to Newegg as well. If it's cheaper on Newegg, buy it on Newegg, by all means. $169. That's fine. That's a much more reasonable price. Don't pay $195. That's why I put Newegg and Amazon links in most of my videos. By all means, comparison shop and buy it wherever it's cheaper. Either one is just fine. Now, if you want the smaller size, this is what I would recommend. Not there. Here we go. MX300, 275 gigabyte. Oh, the price has come up a bit. Nope, It's because Amazon's out of stock. This is a quick lesson in buying on Amazon. If you take a look at the price, it's $84. Don't pay $84. This is 275 gigabyte M.2 Crucial drive. I have one of these. It'll be installed into something else. You'll see it at some point on my channel. If you come down to other sellers on the right side of the screen, you'll see Amazon sells this for $72. They're temporarily out of stock. You can order it, and as soon as they get it in, they'll ship it to you. There's no need to pay $84. Of course, it's also possible that Newegg has it in stock. Again, that's why I do both links. There we go, $72. So when you watch this video, it might be back in stock at Amazon. If it's not, either back order it there or just come over here to Newegg and buy it from them for $72. That comes with the cloning software as well, just like this did. That comes with their Storage Executive, which has the rapid mode. They call it Momentum Cache, same thing. This is why I call my channel Tech Deals. I want the best deal, and I'll buy it wherever I can find it for the best deal. How's Yahoo doing? Perfect. Look how smooth this is. Well, their site sucks, but that's smooth. How about the videos? It's an ad playing. The videos haven't stopped. In fact, that's not even my channel anymore because it's been auto-playing the videos and jumping to the next video. So that's not even, I don't even know who that is. Kerry Holzman. He's got a lot more subs than I do. He's got 143,000 subs. Hey, good for you. Maybe I'll be there one day. There I am in a laptop video. So my point is, we are playing, and you can see them down here, 12 on the Windows Performance Review with the hard drive and the 8 gigs of RAM. I had to close 4 videos. The system couldn't handle it. It was not responsive. We were using 100% of our CPU power. I've got all 12 HD videos running at HD at 60 frames a second with the Yahoo tabs, with now Newegg open, which I didn't even do in the last one, 24% CPU usage, 16 gigs of RAM, and a solid state drive. You're buying a laptop with a top-of-the-line Intel i7 processor. If you don't put more RAM in and you're not running on an SSD, you're wasting your money with the processor. There's the proof. Watch both videos, see the difference. I went to the same websites, I ran the same programs. Everything was done in the same day. In fact, first boot Windows Update, Windows Performance Review, the clone, and this video were all shot on the same day. Nothing's been changed. Nothing else has been done with this machine. Look at the difference in the numbers with everything running between the hard drive and the 8 gigs and the 16 gigs in the SSD. This is why I do these videos. This is a screaming deal for $100, 10% of the price of the machine. You make it a wonderful computer. Let me show you how fast everything closes. Just like that. No issues, no complaints, very responsive. I'll be following this video up with game performance videos coming soon. Be sure to subscribe for those. Like the video if you like it. Don't if you don't. Subscribe. Questions and comments in the comment section below this video. And be sure to check out the video description below where I'll have links to Amazon and Newegg for all the stuff I've shown you here and talked to you about, as well as the other reviews on this computer. Please go check those out. This is a deal. If you want a 4K screen, $1,000. If you're okay with 1080p, about $850. Same laptop, same processor, same chip, same everything, just a different screen. Go check them out. I highly recommend it. This thing is awesome. I will see you in the next video.